Good evening. Thanks for joining me this Wednesday. I'm Otto Othman, and these are tonight's headlines. Government to inject 6.23 billion ringgit financial boost for Felda. 6 states agree to raise the water tariff. And half a ton of meth seized in Australia. We begin 7Edition with this story. Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad said the role of appointing the new Johor Menteri Besar lies with the party that won the general election and not the state ruler. This followed the resignation of Otto Othman as Menteri Besar yesterday. The Premier also said that the appointment of an acting Menteri Besar will take some time, but will be made soon.
This is a political thing. The Sultan has got no role. The role is for the party which won the election to determine who leads.
Tun Dr. Mahathir, however, could not confirm if Johor Exco member Dr. Sahruddin Jamal from Parti Pribumi Bersatu Malaysia Bersatu was among the candidates for the post. Dr. Sahruddin, who is also Bukit Kepong Assemblyman, is widely regarded as the front-runner. But it is understood that other Pakatan Harapan parties have also nominated their assemblyman for the top post. Other names that have surfaced as possible replacements for Dato' Osman are also state exco members, namely Parit Yani Assemblyman Aminul Huda Hassan of Amanah and Semerah lawmaker Muhammad Huzan Abu Bakar of PKR. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister has called on Islamic banking and finance players to invest more technologies in order to transform the way they conduct banking services and disseminate their products in a more effective and efficient manner. Though Dr. Mahathir said this as the application of smart technology within the industry known as financial technology or fintech has positively changed the financial sector landscape as well as other industries.
Some of the sectors powered by fintech include mobile payments, mobile transfers, loans, fundraising and asset management.
Latest technology embraced by fintech leveraging on internet, mobile devices, social media integration, big data analytics and artificial intelligence makes financial transactions more automated, user-friendly and more convenient, thus a superior customer experience.
The Premier, however, warned that the potential disruptions to traditional Islamic finance should not be underestimated, as they could swing both ways. Tun Dr. Mahathir said the evolutionary pace in the Islamic banking and finance industry has intensified in recent years, where concept of Islamic finance have been incorporated into many financial products in order to meet the changing needs of consumers, businesses and investors. He added the landscape has also been supported by a well-developed regulatory, prudential, legal, accounting framework and enforced by the necessary research and development.
Now, over in Parliament, the government has agreed to set aside 6.23 billion ringgit financial aid for the Federal Land Development Authority, or FELDA. In revealing this, Economic Affairs Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad Azmin Ali said the money will be dispersed in stages by way of grants, loans and government guarantees as needed to sustain the company's future.
The announcement was part of the white paper on Felda's sustainability, tabled by Datuk Seri Muhammad Azmin during the Dewan Rakyat sitting today, in line with the government's promise to eliminate Felda's unnecessary debts to lessen the financial burden of settlers.
Kerajaan bersetuju untuk menghapuskan kadar faedah di atas pinjaman sara hidup dan pendahuluan hasil yang dibebankan kepada peneroka. Bantuan kerajaan ini dianggarkan berjumlah 2 bilion ringgit. Kerajaan juga amat prihatin terhadap masalah perumahan generasi kedua Felda, perumahan generasi baru Felda, PGBF, yang terbengkalai sekian lama tanpa pembelaan daripada kerajaan lama. Sebagai sebuah kerajaan yang peduli generasi baru Felda, Kerajaan Pakatan Harapan bertekad untuk menyiapkan 4,794 unit rumah yang tahap kemajuannya 70% dan ke atas. Untuk tujuan ini, kerajaan meluluskan sebanyak 250 juta ringgit bagi tahun 2019.
Datuk Seri Muhammad Azmin said the new model will see Felda inject new manpower and optimize its potential to progress and modernize the agricultural industry. The injection of the 6.23 billion ringgit will involve, among others, a new model of settler land management for a reasonable long-term period that will solve the issue of settler demography and the absence of economies of scale. He also said Felda is committed to producing new settlers who are skilled and innovative to increase their income through agricultural and livestock activities that use new technologies such as smart farming and precision agriculture. This effort will help the settlers to reduce their reliance on oil palm yield, and the settlers can generate a high-value new income through harvesting in a short period of time. Now, the white paper also revealed that a total of 2.7 billion ringgit of Felda's funds was allegedly siphoned off to win political support ahead of the 14th general election, GE14. Datuk Seri Muhammad Azmin stated that this was among the findings of a forensic audit report prepared by a professional independent audit firm. While Felda Global Ventures, FGV, had raised 10.5 billion ringgit in its 2012 initial public offering IPO, the Economic Affairs Minister said the previous administration had spent about a quarter of 2.7 billion ringgit of the earnings on every shady transactions.
Malangnya 1.4 bilion daripada hasil tunai yang diperolehi oleh Felda melalui penyenaraian FGV telah dibelanjakan untuk membuat pelaburan yang sangat meragukan melibatkan transaksi gelap atau dengan izin shady transactions. Manakala sejumlah 2.7 bilion ringgit pula telah digunakan untuk meraih sokongan politik menjelang pilihan raya umum.
In tabling the white paper on Felda's sustainability, Datuk Seri Muhammad Azmin said the firm's financial position worsened due to continued wastage with asset purchases at a high rate than market prices.
Sebagai contoh, pembelian Eagle High daripada PT Raja Wali Capital International yang dimiliki oleh Peter Sondak pada kadar 96% lebih tinggi berbanding dengan harga pasaran ketika itu. Pada Mac 2019, pelaburan berjumlah 2.3 bilion ringgit itu hanya mempunyai nilai pasaran 500 juta ringgit. Datuk Seri Najib Razak yang dikenali sebagai MO1 selepas ini, yang merupakan Menteri Keuangan pada ketika itu, terlibat dalam proses pelaburan ini dengan memberi arahan untuk menyegerakan transaksi tersebut dengan pembiayaan oleh Kementerian Keuangan.
Datuk Seri Muhammad Azmin also said upon evaluating the findings, the Pakatan Harapan government took immediate action to save Felda by forming a special team under his ministry. The team, comprising Felda's new management and a professional firm, is focusing on a review of the group's financial position by conducting forensic audit and formulating a new direction. The following are the highlights on Felda Group's financial position and difficulties as presented in the white paper. Felda's cash flow stood at 3.9 billion ringgit in 2011, but this shrank to 400 million ringgit in 2017. As at May 9, 2018, the firm recorded a cash flow of only 35 million ringgit. Over a span of 10 years, Felda's liabilities ballooned to 14.4 billion ringgit in 2017, or a 22-fold increase from 1.2 billion ringgit recorded in 2007. The white paper also highlighted Felda's investment impairments in Felda Global Ventures FGV, totaling 2.1 billion ringgit, as well as a fair value loss on the investment in PT Eagle High Plantations TBK, which amounted to 1.6 billion ringgit in 2017, including foreign exchange losses. Felda also reportedly bought the Park City Grand Plaza Kensington Hotel in London above market value, at 331 million ringgit compared with its market value of 128 million ringgit. Other things highlighted in the white paper include Felda's 4.9 billion ringgit losses in 2017 due to deterioration in revenue from the Lend-Lease agreement, as well as non-strategic investments and corporate takeovers.
At the Parliament lobby, Tun Dr. Mahathir said serious action will be taken against Datuk Seri Najib for publishing confidential information on his social media. This comes after Pakatan Harapan MPs pointed out that the former Prime Minister broke the embargo placed on the Felda White Paper when he made a Facebook post on the matter and shared a portion of the document.
Dianya mencetakkan satu kertas yang telah diembargo. Jadi kita pandang serius perkara ini dan kita akan ambil tindakan supaya dianya akan diberi peringatan bahawa tidak ada siapa yang lebih tinggi daripada aturan-peraturan Parlimen.
Earlier, Lebah Pantai lawmaker Fahmi Fazil asked Datuk Seri Muhammad Azmin if the latter was aware of the embargo breach. In his response, the Economic Affairs Minister said he knew of the matter and stressed that it was a serious offence. In another development, several very important persons, VIPs, may be called up to assist police investigations regarding Felda. Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Muhammad Fuzi Harun said Commercial Crime Investigation Department CCID had opened investigation papers on the matter. This after Felda Director General Dr. Othman Omar lodged a police report on Monday claiming to have been cheated by former Prime Minister Datuk Seri Najib Razak over the purchase of shares of Indonesian company Eagle High Plantations EHP.
Laporan baru ada dibuat. Saya telah mengarahkan pihak Jabatan Siasatan Jenayah Komersial agar memulakan semula siasatan dengan seberapa segera yang mungkin. In fact, bukan berapa segera dah dijalankan, di kertas siasatan pun dah dibuka dan proses siasatan pun sedang berjalan pada ketika ini.
Akan panggil
itu normal lah. Kalau tak macam mana kita nak melengkapkan kertas siasatan.
Dr. Othman, in his police report, claimed that Datuk Seri Najib, who was also the finance minister at the time, had directed Felda to undertake a transaction in 2015 via FIC Properties Sdn Bhd FPSB, a special purpose vehicle, to purchase 37% of EHP shares at $505 million or 2.3 billion ringgit, although the value of the shares was only $114 million. The Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Ministry is considering to deposit the targeted petrol subsidy straight into the bank account of the B4T low-income recipients. Its Minister, Datuk Sri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail, said this includes 90% of the cost of living allowance BSH recipients who are also eligible for the targeted petrol subsidy.
Datuk Sri Saifuddin Nasution said the remaining 10% of the BSH recipients, most of whom live in the interior, will be assisted in opening a bank account.
Jadi menjadi hasrat kerajaan untuk barangan pengguna yang lain yang sekarang ini kerajaan tanggung dari segi subsidi, kita akan laksanakan secara bersasar dengan mengambil sedikit sebanyak pengalaman daripada pelaksanaan RON 95 yang insyaAllah mudah-mudahan akan berlangsung dengan baik.
Commenting further, he explained that the pump price of petrol will be the same for everyone, but the recipients of the targeted petrol subsidy receive the subsidy deposited into their account. He said the government is also looking into the use of a card as a means of identifying the recipients, and the information in the card will also be useful when the government considers a targeted subsidy for other consumer goods in the future.
The Water, Land and Natural Resources Ministry said 6 states have agreed to increase water tariff rates in line with the government's efforts to restructure the water supply services industry. Now, according to its minister, Dr. Xavier Jayakumar, the agreement was reached through negotiations with each state government and the National Water Services Commission.
6 negeri pun telah setuju untuk menaikkan tarif air. Sekarang konsultasi telah pun diteruskan dan tak lama lagi 2 negeri lagi akan bersetuju untuk kita adakan kenaikan tarif di dalam industri air.
Dr. Xavier added the water tariff nationwide should have been raised 2 or 5 years ago because it has failed to offset annual operating costs, putting some water operators in the financially difficult position to provide quality water services. On the ceiling price, he said it varies according to the state and operational capacity, among other things. Moving on, Datuk Seri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail has expressed disappointment with Barisan Nasional MPs for choosing to abstain from voting on the Federal Constitution Amendment Bill 2019, which sought to restore the status of Sabah and Sarawak as equal partners in Malaysia. The Deputy Prime Minister said the move led to the failure to obtain the necessary 2/3 majority or 148 votes, automatically blocking a third read in Parliament.
Saya rasa kecewa sebab ini kalau melihat bahawa perbahasan itu nampak semua setuju bahawa kita mahukan pengiktirafan Sabah Sarawak itu sama dengan Semenanjung. Dan kita mesti pindah juga pada masa itu ada masuk negara Singapura dulu kan, dan juga saya tak ingat Brunei tak masuk, tapi Singapura ada masa tu. Jadi kita kena pindah RUU. Namun mengecewakan melihat bagaimana Sarawak BN lah ya, ahli parlimen BN menolak dengan tidak mengundi. Penyediaan taska. Selain itu bengkel pindaan.
A total of 138 out of 221 MPs voted for the amendment, while 59 others, including 19 MPs from Gabungan Parti Sarawak (GPS), abstained. Now, commenting on the same matter, Sabah Chief Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad Shafie Apdal said Sabah will continue to pursue the state rights guaranteed under the Federal Constitution. He added various issues, including the 40% federal revenue derived from the state and 20% oil royalty, were still on the table.
But it's not the end of the road. We will continue what is important, the effort to make sure that we can realize this, what is due for our fellow Sabahan and getting rights for our fellow Sabahan to not only in terms of the amendment of the constitutions but also the revenue.
The Saporna MP also said that there were many aspects to state rights that will be pursued, although the two states had wanted Article 1, Sub-Article 2 of the Constitution amended to its original form. This is because the article was the mother of all articles in the Constitution, which would restore Sabah and Sarawak as equal partners in Malaysia. Datuk Seri Muhammad Shafie further stated that he was ready to talk to his colleagues in neighbouring Sarawak to see how they could try again to get amendments passed in Parliament with a 2/3 majority. Now, when we return, what did you achieve when you were 12? Don't go away.
Sanggup buat rumah tangga Riz macam ni, Mak. Mama tahu kan, anak lelaki Mama tu sanggup buat apa je untuk rampas Tira daripada Riz.
Tidak. Tira dengan Haris kat mana?
Tidak nak kahwin dengan Haris.
Asalkan dia bahagia, Isnin hingga Jumaat, 7 malam di Akasia TV3.
Thanks for staying with us. A motorcyclist died in an accident believed to be a hit and run at Jalan Pelabuhan Utara from North Port heading to Port Klang last night. In the 8:40 p.m. incident, the victim, 64-year-old Ismail Bache, died at the scene. Ismail sustained serious injuries to the head after he was believed to have been rammed by an unidentified vehicle. Police urged the driver of the vehicle to lodge a police report. Members of the public who have information on the incident can contact the police to assist in investigations. The case is being investigated under the Road Transport Act. Former Prime Minister Datuk Sri Najib Razak's wife, Datin Sri Rosmah Mansor, was back in the Sessions Court today to face a new charge over the solar hybrid project for rural schools in Sarawak. This is the third time that she was charged in the Sessions Court over the same case. Datin Sri Rosmah was accused of accepting gratification of 5 million ringgit from Jepak Holdings Sendiran Berhad for allegedly helping the company to secure the project. She pleaded not guilty to the charge, which was read out before Judge Azura Alwi. To date, a total of 20 charges have been filed against her, with 12 of them over money laundering, 5 of failing to declare her income to the Inland Revenue Board, and 3 for soliciting and accepting gratification for the implementation of the solar hybrid project. Elsewhere, an assistant manager of a contractor company has been remanded for 6 days for allegedly submitting false claims amounting to 161,000 ringgit for work involving the supplying, installing and testing of banned equipment in a school in Kuala Terengganu. The remand order was issued by Kuala Terengganu Magistrates Court Assistant Registrar Wan Azianti Wan Abdul Karim. The 27-year-old suspect was detained yesterday at the Terengganu Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC office. He is alleged to have been involved in supply works without following specification in 2017. The case is being investigated under the MACC Act. Now let's hop on to our daily segment, Clickbait, where we take a look at what's trending and making rounds in the cyber world today. Now, let's be real. Talk about dream cars. Many of us struggle to make ends meet while sustaining even just our average cars. But not for this 12-year-old Thai girl, as she got her luxury revving machine with her own money for her birthday. Now, she can't even drive it yet. The precocious little girl shared her happiness on her Facebook page, which raked in over 14,000 shares, expressed her gratitude and thanking her fans for the birthday wishes. Natha Nanan first shot to fame a few years ago when she started going for professional makeup courses at 7 years old. After she found her passion for makeup and videos of her makeup tutorials would be uploaded on social media. Now, after the break, torrential rain leaves at least 10 dead in Brazil. Stay right there. Welcome back. Australian authorities have seized more than half a ton of methamphetamine, commonly known as ice, hidden in commercial refrigerators imported from Singapore on Monday. Now, the street value of the drugs hauled in by law enforcement at the border is estimated to be more than $400 million. It is reported that the drugs were found hidden in commercial refrigerators in a consignment declared as electric ovens. Australia has a serious epidemic of drug use with an insatiable demand for illicit substances, resulting in a record number of seizures and arrests in recent years. Now, in Brazil, torrential rain left at least 10 people dead in Rio de Janeiro on Tuesday as emergency workers rescued people trapped by the downpour. The state emergency agency then declared a crisis following the situation. Now, unusually heavy rain began on Monday evening and continued into Tuesday, triggering widespread flash flooding that turned some streets into raging rivers, toppled trees and swept away cars. According to authorities, the southern zone of the city, which includes the tourist hotspots Copacabana and Ipanema, as well as several impoverished favela areas, has been hardest hit. Heavy runoff from neighboring hills gushed through some apartment buildings and shops, leaving behind mud and debris. Residents have also been told to avoid walking in flooded streets as the water may be contaminated. A robbery at an Albanian international airport has led to a deadly shootout as a gunman was killed in an exchange of fire on Tuesday. This came after a group of thieves broke into Mother Teresa Airport and stole bags of cash from a plane heading for Vienna. Following this, local police have arrested 4 people and questioned 40 others. It was believed that the armed robbers have stolen $2.8 million from Austrian Airlines plane. However, several of the perpetrators are still on the run, though an exact number remains unclear. Albania's central bank does not accept deposits of hard currency, forcing some locally based foreign banks to ship their hard currencies to Austria by plane. We've reached the end of 7 Edition.